11 years after the brutal unaliving of Florida State University law professor Dan Markel, 5 people have been convicted for their roles in the heartless crime. The 2 hitmen, Sigfredo Garcia and Luis Rivera, the person who connected members of the Adelson family with the hitmen, Catherine McBanawa, Dan Markel's brother-in-law, Charlie Adelson, and Charlie's mother, Donna Adelson. The question now is, has Lady Justice settled the score with all the guilty parties involved, or are there still individuals walking free who participated in Dan Markel's death? In each trial associated with Markel's murder, the state has subpoenaed Dan's former wife, Wendi Adelson, and given her derivative use immunity. And in each trial, evidence has been brought in that implicates Wendi Adelson to some degree. Wendi hasn't been charged with any crimes, so she is currently presumed innocent, so I want to make that clear. But during her mother Donna's trial, direct evidence was introduced that suggests Wendi conspired to ensure that the crime took place before Dan Markel's scheduled departure from Tallahassee. Dan had plans to leave town on Saturday, July 19th, 2014. And again, the crime occurred the day before that on Friday, July 18th. The getaway car driver, Luis Rivera, testified that he was told the crime needed to be done on or before July 18th. Now, only a handful of people, if that, would have known the dates of Danny's travel plans. Wendy, who shared custody of their 2 boys, knew Dan's plans. Also, Wendy's mother, Donna, just happened to have Dan's license plate number and the make and model of his car written in her 2014 day planner. Wendy and Dan got divorced in 2012. That was 2 years before the crime. There was no good reason for Donna Adelson to have that information in her 2014 day planner. In addition to that, Wendy's ex-boyfriend, Jeffrey Lacasse, testified that Wendi asked him very specific questions about his travel plans during the week of July 18th, 2014. It does seem like some of the Adelsons wanted to set Jeff up to look like he committed the crime, and if the cops ran off in that direction, maybe they would not figure out that a Latin King gang member, Luis Rivera, and his childhood friend, Sigfredo Garcia, were responsible for the actual act of shooting Dan Markel. Now, Wendi also contacted Dan to double-check his schedule with their boys before and after the date of the crime. Those specific dates had already been ironed out between Wendi and Dan. So why was Wendi double-checking those? Then, on the day of the crime, Wendi called her brother Charlie and they spoke for 18 minutes. Wendi says they were discussing her broken television set, the one that Charlie supposedly bought her as a divorce present, instead of hiring hitmen. And according to Jeff Lacasse, the TV looked like someone of adult stature, maybe 5'6", 5'7", broke by smashing something into the middle of the screen. The cracked screen did not appear to be something a 4 to 5-year-old and a 3-year-old could have inflicted. Those were the ages of Wendi and Dan's sons in 2014. In addition, on the day of the crime, Wendi drove 7 miles out of her way to get to the ABC liquor store to buy a bottle of Bullet bourbon for a Stock the Bar party. This meant that Wendi drove to the street where Dan was shot just about 1 hour after the crime took place. When Wendi got there, she was unable to drive all the way down the street because the police were diverting traffic. Now, Wendi had to have seen the yellow crime scene tape, and yet she did not attempt to call Dan to ensure that he and their 2 sons were okay. No matter how much you dislike your ex, if he has your kids in his custody that day and you see something like yellow crime scene tape and something that happened that requires the police, I'm pretty sure you're going to call your ex to see if he's okay and if your sons are okay. Wendi just continued on with her day. She bought the bourbon at the ABC liquor store, clearly had a somewhat lengthy conversation with the salesperson, which she later tells the cops about. And to me, this makes it seem like she's trying to establish an alibi for the entire morning. She even had the name, I believe, of the salesperson to share with the cops. It was either the salesperson or the TV repairman. Maybe it was the TV repairman. And after the crime, when Tallahassee PD officer Craig Isom was interviewing her, Wendy let it slip that during the ride to the police station in the squad car, she wasn't sure if she was a suspect. Wendy let Isom believe that she didn't know a crime had occurred until after he told her about the shooting while she was in the interview room at the police station. So why would she have been wondering on the drive to the police station if she was a suspect? This makes it sound like she already knew what had happened to Dan before the officer broke the news to her. This is just some of the circumstantial evidence that makes it look like Wendi Adelson may have played a role in Dan Markel's death, allegedly, in my opinion. I think the walls are crumbling down around Wendy, and maybe Harvey too. Another question is, if she is arrested and charged in connection with Dan's death, will her two sons, Lincoln and Benjamin, stand by her in the same way that Barry Morphew's daughters have stood by him, at least so far? Chad Daybell's children have also stood by him. I'm sure it would be difficult to turn on their mother when they don't have a father, thanks to their Uncle Charlie and their grandmother Donna. But did Dan Markel spend enough time with those two boys to infuse his goodness, his sense of justice, his sense of the law into them? Did he pour enough love into them so that they remember him? On a positive note, the boys have the Markels just standing by waiting to love them, hug them, provide them with stability and family. Let me know what you think in the comments. And now take a listen to some of the very telling things that Wendy said in that interview on July 18th, 2014, after Dan Markel was shot. See you next time on Bed Crime Stories. Hey, smash that like button.
To hear it that way.
I'm sorry, I didn't know if I should.
It's all right, just leave it there. Is it still on?
It's right there.
Hey, it's Lisa Carey. It is Friday, and I feel like an idiot doing this, but I just heard that there was a shooting over on Trescott, and I promise I'm not trying to be dramatic or even nosy. I don't know, just checking on you, my friend. I hope all is well. I hope your sweet boys are well, and if there's anything you need, let me know. It just ran a chill down my spine when I heard that there was something going on Trescott. All right, 212-3083. I hope all is well, and I will talk in. Bye.
That's all right, you can stop it. Or does it stop automatically?
It's done.
Okay, do you have your identification with you? All right, so you never took the last name of Markel?
No.
Adelson. Okay, Wendy with an I. Joe. All right. There was a shooting at your home, or your ex-husband's home, at 2116 Trescott. Okay. Your ex-husband, Daniel, all right, has been taken to the hospital. He's not going to survive.
Oh my God.
Okay. Well, before we get into everything, I have to establish where you were and who you were with and so forth.
Okay.
Okay, and then once we've established all that, I can give you more details.
Okay.
Do you understand why I wanted you to come here before I discuss this?
Oh my god.
Okay, and then you
And then after he left, I kept working on a paper, and I emailed the paper to a librarian at school to work on some of the citations.
okay.
And I don't think I talked to anyone else, but I was just working for an hour or so from the house. I was gonna take a shower, but I didn't. I ran out of time. I did laundry, and then I left the house around noon.
To go to the liquor store and the stuff for the party.
Yeah,
Okay, you went down which road you said?
I went down Trescott.
Okay.
I saw a police car there, and I just thought it was blocked, so I just turned around and drove to, I went down the rest of Centerville, went up Benton across, went to ABC Liquors, bought the bourbon.
I'm a little confused. You're up on Centerville Road. What's your purpose of driving down Trescott?
It's usually the shortcut to get
Oh.
to Monroe.
To get to Monroe?
I usually take it as a cut through to get to Thomasville or Monroe.
Okay, all right, so
I
you,
don't know why I said Monroe. I was thinking Mosaic, Monroe, Thomasville.
okay, so when you come down into town on Centerville,
I almost always cut through Trescott.
Trescott, and just drive by your old house?
Well, I do it as a way of like coming to terms with a divorce, but yeah, sometimes I drive there. If I'm too sad, I drive around.
Okay,
If the kids aren't home and I know they're not home, I feel better about driving by the house, but yeah, it's shorter and I just usually drive by.
it's shorter than going all the way down to Benton.
He's my big brother, and he's been taking care of me since I was little, but he would never. And I told that to the repair guy this morning.
Right. That's okay.
I said, he asked me how much it cost, and I said I didn't know because it was a gift, because my brother said it was cheaper than a hitman. It was my divorce present.
Okay.
Such a horrible thing to say. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
But even my family, who felt like I had been mistreated, would never do something like this. Never.
Well, you guys have been divorced for over a year. Has there been any type of abuse in that time?
Of him towards me?
Yeah.
No. It's, he's litigious, and we have an ongoing case because the house, it shouldn't be in my name anymore, but when we settled the case of our divorce, he said, one of the agreements the court said was, Danny wanted to stay in the house. They said, you can have the house, but you need to pay her half of the amount of what the house is worth. And he agreed to it, and then months passed and he just never paid me.
Okay.
And so we have ongoing litigation where I filed a motion in the court to have him pay me what he said he would, and he filed a counter motion for sanctions against my attorney because he thought that she did something wrong, which she didn't. But so, I mean, she withdrew from the case and was going to serve as a witness, so she's not going to lash out at him for it. She's using the legal process to do it. My parents are, very angry towards him. But even when they're around my kids, they would never say a bad word about my kid's father. They're really, really careful about that. They just like him, but they know he's the father of my kids. They would never do that.
Right.
I don't know who would be angry enough with him.
Well, that's what I have to find out.
To do something like this.
The brother that you're real close to, I have to do a lot of elimination at the same time. The brother that you're really close to, the one that joked about the TV and everything, what'd you say his name was?
Charlie.
Charlie, and he's in Fort Lauderdale?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me what kind of car he has.
He has like 5 cars.
You can't tell me all of
He
them.
drives I think one of them is an unmarked police car.
Oh, really?
He's a bit of a character.
Okay.
So I don't know what he's driving at the time.
Right.
But I'll tell you, he's a periodontist, and he has this practice where he works from early in the morning till late at night. So if you ever wanted to find his whereabouts, he's working all day long until early in the morning till late at night, always driving to a different office and working.
Oh, he goes to different offices?
Yeah, he works in different offices all over South Florida and does implants for people. And he works really hard all the time. He has a girlfriend, so he's pretty much accounted for all the time.
Charlie, is that his first name?
Charlie's his first name.
Not Charles?
I think Charles is his legal name. No one calls him that.
What's his last name?
Adelson.
What's his middle?
J-A-Y.
Same spelling, Adelson.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god.
What?
What? Oh my god.
What?
I can't believe this is happening.
Okay. All right. Let me go get the form for the phone.
Do I need to be read my Miranda rights or something if you're gonna look at my phone?
I can read you Miranda if you want to hear
I don't
that.
know, I'm just trying to make sure I'm being
I have no
protected.
reason at this point to suspect you in this incident. Okay?
I couldn't tell from the way you were talking to me in the car if I was a suspect.
Well, no, and the reason was I didn't want to get into everything until we got up here.
Is he
okay.
still in the hospital?
He's at the hospital, yes. Yes.